Welcome to the Secor Show. I will be your host, the Happy Wanderer. To help understand more about the resources in your community, I'm here to interview Mrs. Younes, the Regional Manager of Mason Enterprise Center in Fauquier. Ms. Younes, can you provide us information on what the Mason Enterprise Center is?
I'll be glad to, but please call me Rini. Um, the George Mason, the Mason Enterprise Center here in Fauquier County is affiliated with George Mason University, and we are one of four centers in the metropolitan area. The other three are in Fairfax, Springfield, and Leesburg. And our goal and our mission is to help startup companies and existing companies grow in a professional environment by offering office space programs, which we can elaborate on in a couple minutes. Um, I thought the uh, best way to describe our services is to tell you a little bit about. First of all, I want to emphasize that in order to be a part of the MEC here in Fauquier County, the business has to be in Fauquier County. In other words, and our mission is to help startup companies or existing companies. If John Doe down the street doesn't like his landlord and wants to move to a new office, that would not be something that we would be able to help them with. So we kind of have a mission that we are helping these existing companies or new startup companies. We have three ways of affiliating with the MEC. One is by being a resident, actually renting an office. We are one of the smaller Mason Enterprise Centers of the four. We have 14 offices here on Main Street. And nice to say that today we're full, but that changes. And our offices are the rent varies from $500 to I think the largest office is $950. So very affordable office rent. We also have what we call virtual clients, and the virtual clients are the people that. Well, let me back up a minute. We don't promote for new businesses to extend themselves financially. Not necessarily offices are necessary when you start a business. Certainly, working from home could work. But we do have businesses that need to have a corporate identity. And one of the things that would not be acceptable would be for them to get their mail at their home. So they can affiliate with the MEC by getting their mail here and also having access to the conference room. This is one of our conference rooms. And that cost a month is $125. So they get 10 hours of conference room space and they get their mail here. And often the virtual people are the ones after a year or a couple years are ready to rent an office, but we try not to, speed that along for them. The other thing that I think that we offer here is business counseling. We do it through the Small Business Development Center. Pre-COVID, we had a counselor come here twice a month and would meet with anyone that had reached out to us and were very specific in the areas that they needed help in. For example, not that we're opposed to talking to dreamers, but when we actually schedule business counseling, we like people to have started and have specific ideas of what they want to do. A good example would be there's lots of pros and cons today about business plans. Do you need one or don't you need one? So we feel that a new company should certainly create something of a plan. And that could be an example where the SBDC could elaborate and help them in areas that they might not have, but that they might need help with. For example, financial, or, there's just so many different things specifically in a business plan, but we like people to come with some type of a rough draft, so to speak. We did more of this a few years ago, but we were affiliated with the Virginia Employment Commission, and we had a counselor that helped veterans seek employment. And that program still exists, but the actual person does not come here anymore. The other thing I should mention is that with COVID, we are not able to have our business counselor in person. But what we do is after I've had an opportunity to talk at length on the phone with them, I send an email to the SBDC with an overview of what the company is seeking in the area of counseling. and they reach out to the company first by email. If they can handle it that way or by phone, they do it. If it requires more information and more time, they schedule a Zoom appointment with the company. So let's see, is there anything? Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention is that through George Mason University, companies that want to learn or acquire government contracting, we have a department called the PTAP program, Procurement Technical Assistance Program, and there is a chairman, a director that is extremely knowledgeable and will help anybody from learning how to do it to how to prepare the 8A certification paperwork, which is very, very timely and detailed. So we do that type of business counseling and so forth. We participate. Last year we did 6 seminars with the Small Business Development Center here in Warrenton, and the topics were how to improve your elevator speech, the techniques of good networking, things that I think any new business or existing business could just kind of perk up their efforts with a little bit of additional training. So, is there anything else that
When I came in, I saw that there was a co-working space. Is that tied to the?
That's part of the MEC too. It's kind of exciting to just share with you a little bit about it. Unfortunately, although all of the negative things that are happening with COVID, I must say that in our beautiful Fauquier County, our internet is not great everywhere. So we have been we have welcomed many people that need the co-working space. It's a multiple of different examples, people that are able to work at home, but they don't have great internet. So they come to us for the co-working area. We also have a small room that we've dedicated. We have so many people that are requiring Zoom meeting rooms that we have a little room that we've called it the Zoom room. And it's become very popular. I mean, we've got 3 attorneys that are using it. We have students. We have a couple of families whose students are coming home for the holiday break, but they need to continue to do schoolwork. So we have our little Zoom room, which we're pretty excited about to offer. The co-working is, it seats 10 people at a time, but we have been required by Mason to have partitions. And so we have 2 ways to affiliate with the co-working is by, we do not have a daily rate. We just don't have the staff to handle daily people coming in, but we have what we call designated space, which are people that are here a lot, maybe every day. And they have a designated desk where they leave their computer and their monitors, and they pay $200 a month for 24/7 access. They have a fob that they can come anytime after the building is closed. They can come on the weekend. And then we have undesignated space for people that come periodically, maybe a day or 2 a week. And they too have access to the building 24/7, and that's $100 a month. So I think our rates are pretty affordable. If you do a little research and talk or look into some high-level co-working spaces, you will see that they are a lot more expensive. Now, we don't have anything fancy and beautiful here, and we don't offer coffee and tea all the time, but we have the necessities. So, is there anything else that we should cover?
What are the biggest challenges and struggles you're seeing with businesses working through COVID-19?
I think we don't really interact with the food industry or restaurants, but being located where we are, right on Main Street, we see a lot of decline in the restaurants, and it's sad to see that. I think that the nice weather did bring more business to a lot of people where they were able to have outdoor seating, which was very nice. I think for the businesses that we represent, right now we represent about 30 to 35 companies here at the MEC. Most of them are struggling with the internet, which is, they have people that are working from home, but they don't have good internet. I mean, it sounds like a silly It's not silly at all. It's very detrimental for many people. So we're pleased to be able to offer better internet here. The word has gotten out. It's been really great.
Glad to hear. Any last minute thoughts?
I have one. I think it's my passion, and I'll just take a minute to share it with you. I did fail to mention in the beginning that in March of 2021, we will have been here 7 years, which is very hard to believe. And I also wanted to reiterate that our partner here in Fauquier County is the Department of Economic Development. They are our business partner. So about 5 years ago, we launched, the MEC was launched the program called Ignite Fauquier, and it is taken from the program Million Cups of Coffee, which is, if you have time to look into it, it is a Kauffman Foundation program that started in Kansas City. That program we launched. I actually was in Manassas for 5 years before we opened up the MEC here in Warrenton. And we did launch Million Cups of Coffee in Manassas. And it was, they have the Kauffman Foundation, you affiliate with Kauffman and there are rules to follow. They have a weekly requirement to have to do a presentation, and we had a great job. And Million Cups of Coffee is still going strong in Manassas. I'm kind of excited about that. And when I came here, people knew about Million Cups and wanted to do it right away. And I'm like, we can't do it right away. We got to get this place set up. So we created a team of volunteers, and we met a few times and decided that Million Cups of Coffee weekly would be a little bit too much. For having the quality of presenter that we're looking for. So we decided to have the same concept, but do it on a monthly basis. And we called it Ignite Fauquier. And there were some people here that wanted to make sure that the fire department knew that it had nothing to do with fires or anything like that. So what we do is once a month, we invite a presenter. Most of the time, there's a prerequisite that to be a presenter, you have had to attend one session. And the presenter has an opportunity to talk a very little bit about what they do and how they do their business, and then they pose a challenge to the attendees. Anyone can join us. There's no membership or anything like that. We meet the second Wednesday of the month, and we were meeting at the business. The center, what are we calling it? That is the visitor center. We were moving there. We were meeting there for the first several years. We are doing some virtual sessions now, and hopefully in January we'll be able to do a hybrid where people could join us in person. But the presenter has an opportunity not only to talk about their business, but to pose a challenge that they're having. And that typically creates dialogue from the group who's attending. They either have had the challenge and been able to overcome it and can share advice, or they might be having the same challenge. So they too benefit from the dialogue and the conversation that goes on.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, we love it. We think Ignite Fauquier is great, and we're looking forward to being able to do it in person because it does have a better, I mean, Zoom is great, but we're all tired of Zoom, and the interaction in person is really a big difference.
Yeah, I have to say, back in 2017, when I first came and started meeting with you guys, I actually came to one or two of the Unite Factiers at the visitor center, and I think it was really engaging. It introduced me to different problems they were already having. I mean, I was just at the beginning of my dream stage, I guess you'd say, but it definitely let me see that hey, this was going to be a long task, and there are a lot of challenges ahead of me. But there are amazing organizations and programs like that to help people when they get stuck in a barrier.
And the people that attend are so willing and giving to information, and relationships are built from that Ignite Fauquier. So it's my passion. I'm just really happy that we were able to launch it, and we've been going on. We'll be starting our 6th year, so we've been pretty happy about it.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for giving your voice, your time, and talent, and helping inspire others on this Giving Tuesday. Well, thank you for tuning in. Tune back in at 10:30 for the importance of building a network on local professionals.